Hey Track Gang, what's going on in this week's episode of the Boeville in Newtown? Well, it's right over here. Stand by and we'll get into what's happening this week. Hello Track Gang and welcome to episode 2 for 2023. It happens to be January the 9th, 2023. I'm Ray and welcome to the Boeville in Newtown. Couple of things real quick. I know in my preview for the year I talked about doing Steam Train Sunday again. I was actually prepared to do that yesterday. But happened to remember that I've been I've been popping fuses on the controller, actually on the tracks. Not so much the controller, but on the tracks. And that is due to a couple different things. One of them has been derailments. Over here by Weichert Industrial and also over at Boeville. I'm not sure why, but I've got a couple of locomotives that are having issues with the turnouts. So I'm either going to have to take a look at the turnouts again, or I'm going to have to take a look at those couple of locomotives. So the problem is I'm down to the last two. And I've got an order in. I'm just not sure when it's going to get here. So I decided, you know what, I'm not going to tempt fate. I'm just going to go ahead and not do an op session or do any running at the moment. Instead, I'm going to focus on doing some more scenery work, specifically over here at Weichert Hill. As you all know, I started doing that a few weeks back. And of course, then I was interrupted by our family issue, and thankfully, that's all seems to have settled out now, so I'm going to go ahead and start working on the hill here again, and working my way south towards Boeville. So that's kind of the plan for the moment. I'm going to go ahead and get some stuff together, and we're going to get over here, and we're going to start doing some work. So, all right, Track Gang. It's now actually. It's Wednesday, January the 11th, which happens to be my birthday. Yay me. As I told people, I'm 21 years old with 32 years of experience. So, anywho, I don't know where to go with this. I really don't. I did some work over here the other night, and one of the things that I wasn't real happy about, as you know, a while back, I went ahead and I bought paint, latex paint, because that's what I've always used for scenery work. Acrylics is great for doing, you know, the people, the structures, so on and so forth. Latex paint is perfect for painting the styrofoam that I have. So when I went to Home Depot a while back, I went and I bought Fryer Brown, which I figured would be a great brown color. Well, when I started painting with it, I realized it was a bit dark. So when I was doing work over in Boeville, I actually added a little bit of white to it, and I got a halfway decent looking brown. Well, unfortunately, when I came back over here to start working on Weichert Hill, that had kind of solidified a little bit, and there wasn't a whole lot of it left. Okay, great. So I had painted it on, and it was still dark. So I added some white to it. And, well, what I ended up with was, well, don't pay any attention to the white, because that's actually paper mache. I was trying to use it to fill in some of the bigger gaps that I had, which worked out perfect. I just have to come back and paint it. Now, the problem is, and I'm not sure how well it's showing up on camera, but this brown actually looks more gray. For what it is, at least on the face here, that's not really a bad thing because of what I want to do with this. it's actually not going to be too much of an issue. And to be perfectly honest, is up here on top. Most of this is going to be covered anyway because I have the streets, the driveways, the parking lots, things of that nature that are going to cover better part of this. So you're not going to see this either. Now, one of the things I had done up here, and I was actually in the process of working on, was I had taken the concrete gray paint that I had bought, and I had actually painted a stripe where the tracks sit. Now, I realized after I did that that wasn't, the brush that I was using wasn't quite wide enough. Why would you want to do that? Well, up here, there really isn't going to be a whole lot of ballast because this is a interurban line. A lot of this is going to be covered by, well, at least on the backside, it'll be covered by street or pavement. So the only thing that you're going to see is what would be in the middle and then what's going to be over here on the front side. Even more interesting is if I do what I want to do here and it works out the way I want it to, you're probably not even going to notice if there's any ballast here or not. And I'm talking about ballast, and we're a long ways from doing that yet. I still have to, and if you notice I've got wires sitting here. Well, I've drilled holes through the foam and through the base plywood that's underneath here so I could start wiring this up, because like I said, one of the problems that I had is the power pack is down on the south end of Boeville, and by the time you get up here, you've lost quite a bit of juice. So I want to do the same thing that I did on the main lines, which is drop feeders every so often. And I've also soldered some of this rail together as well. So there's a solder that's not soldered here, you know, so on and so forth. There's points where it's not soldered, and that's where these feeder wires are going to be. I've actually been out looking for some bus wire because I've done flat ran out of bus wire, and for me, bus wire is 16 gauge. That's what I have been using for all of the main lines. Now, coming from the trio pacer over at the dispatcher station, I actually used speaker wire, which was 18 gauge. I kind of figured that was still heavy enough. It was going right from there right to one of the terminal strips for where the blocks sit. So once it got there, then it was back up to 16 gauge, and whatever power was coming in was going out, and that seems to work fairly well anyway. So that's not an issue. The problem is I haven't been able to get a hold of, the reason why I used speaker wire, let me back up a minute, is I found out that it was on sale. I guess somebody had returned it or something like that, and they just had it sitting on a shelf for like half price. I was like, whoa, snagged that. The other nice thing is obviously if you've ever done anything with speaker wire or audio wire, there's a mark on one side and not a mark on the other, which means that you get a positive and a negative. Which, when you're running DC, you need a positive and a negative. Or at least you need to know which side, you know what I mean. North rail, south rail, however you want to look at it. Anyway, so I'm still in the process of trying to get a hold of some wire to be able to do that. But like I said, I've got to go back now and I've got to paint up. And I've actually got some spots that I think I'm gonna need to fix, where I put the paper mache. And I actually started doing some work. I'm gonna just slide the camera here. I actually did start doing some work down here at the dam area as well. Hopefully I'm in, there we go. I put some of that paper mache here and also over on this side, and I'm going to finish that up. Now, one of the things I want to do here before I even get to that is I got to get, there's a piece of wood up in my garage that I want to grab. And now that I'm really thinking about it, I may end up wanting to cut this back a little bit, just because it's out too far. There isn't a whole lot of room here for a fall. So I think I'm gonna have to cut this back a little bit more, which isn't a big deal. I can kind of do that, and we can work on this part too. But I'm going to use that paper mache here to kind of blend in this bridge pier into the scenery work, and we'll go from there. But yeah, that's kind of what the plans are going to be going forward, is to finish or get this area kind of done up a little bit better. I'm still waiting for my fuses to show up. They're coming from Ohio, and I'm in Maryland. You would think, and I ordered them about over a week ago, you would think that they would have been here by now. No. I would imagine it's the typical USPS where it goes from Ohio to California to Texas to Florida to Maine to here. That's the only thing I can figure. We can't just straight shot. No. We gotta go round robin. So I'm going to do some more work over here. Hopefully I'll have that on this video, and we'll go from there. But we'll be, I got to grab the remote. We'll be back. All right, folks. I'm going to call this a video, namely because of the fact that I'm trying to get these videos back down to 15 minutes or less. I did get my fuses, so I'll be able to start running trains again. Yay! I did notice one thing with the hill, with Weichert Hill, and that is the fact that once the paint dried, it actually did come out it didn't come out a very light brown, but it actually came out more like a dirt brown instead of a mud brown. So that's a good thing. I just put another coat on it, so we'll see what it looks like once it dries. Other than that, I will say that there's going to be a couple minor changes that I'm going to make here. First thing is I'm going to probably once a month do a thing I call, well, if you've seen the intro, which I'm sure a lot of you have, not this intro, but the intro to the channel for 2023, there's going to be a thing that I call Tales from the Bench. I'm going to try and make that a monthly thing, mixed in with the stuff that I'm doing on the layout. That's going to be really focusing on locomotive maintenance and rolling stock maintenance and upgrades and things of that nature. That's what that's really going to center around, and I think next week's video is going to be the first one of those for 2023, the first Tales from the Bench. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, you all know the deal. Wait for the highball. Green tracks ahead. We'll catch you all next time. Be safe. God bless. We will see ya.